Tokyo is introducing a 4-day work week to encourage women to have children. I'll explain. Tokyo plans to introduce a 4-day work week for its government employees starting in April to support young families and address Japan's record low birth rate. Japan's fertility rate dropped to 1.2 children per woman last year, far below the 2.1 needed for a stable population, despite government efforts to encourage families. Only 727,277 births were recorded nationwide, according to the Ministry of Health, Labor, and Welfare. Governor Yuriko Koike announced that employees will have the option to take 3 days off each week. She said, "We will review work styles, with flexibility, ensuring no one has to give up their career due to life events such as childbirth or childcare." Japan's work culture, which often forces women to choose between careers and families, is seen as a contributing factor. The labor force participation rate remains unequal, with 55% of women and 72% of men working, according to the World Bank. Koike also proposed a policy allowing parents of elementary school-age children to reduce their work hours in exchange for a salary adjustment. She said, "Now is the time for Tokyo to take the initiative to protect and enhance the lives, livelihoods, and economy of our people during these challenging times for the nation." Do you think this will help Japan's declining birth rate? Let us know in the comments.
Phil, what's your thoughts on this clip here about the policy, about this, that? Would it work? Do you think it's needed? What's your thoughts?
This is another example of Western BS coverage of Japan. Absolutely crap. Don't listen to this guy of what he's saying. They're saying about what they're saying, all the women are having stress. So for the women, this is why they're doing it. They're not doing this for the women. They're doing it for the men. They're doing it so that the men will actually sleep with their wives. That's what's going on.
Damn.
This is for the men, so that the men have more leisure and they end up banging out their wives. That's it. It's not for the women. You have this idea of that was totally Western gynocentric BS. If you go to Japan, you think this way about Japan, you don't see Japan correctly. You have men who rarely see their wives, who don't have enough energy to even get it up, and they're just not in the mood to do anything. Those guys are the ones that they need to say, "Hey, look, we're going to give you an extra day. Go ride your wife." That's why they're doing this. It's not for the women, it's for the men. If you have over 30% of Japanese men in their 40s who are still virgins, we have a problem with the men not putting out, not the women. Ugh. I hate when this is why when I hear Westerners talk about Japan, I'm like, do you understand the culture? That's not what's going on. It's the men. You have to think about the men here. Shoot, if the women want to go out and have babies, it's simple. She just goes out to the Starbucks. Half hour later, she's pregnant. She has enough time and energy to do that. Japanese women are not overworked. I would never say the Japanese women are overworked. No. Japanese women got plenty of time. They're doing just fine. Japanese men are the ones who don't see daylight. So this is what for Japanese men, I think this is great. I think this is very good. Yep. So hold on. Go ahead.
It mentions here that 55% of women are working. That means there's 45% of women that are not working in Japan. That's quite a large number. Are these women unemployed or are they housewives, I'm guessing?
A lot of them are housewives. Normally speaking, I mean, not very few housewives actually work. Some of them, not like real labor. When I'm talking about, I was showing the man as the standard. The men who are working, they're working like totally like they're just doing absurd levels of hours of working. So they don't. Yeah, the women aren't working on that level. Again, somebody is just saying, in the chat, they're saying men are intentionally withholding themselves. No, they're not intentionally withholding themselves. They don't have time for it. That's the thing. They don't have time. You, it's like, okay, I'm here in Austin, right? So today I worked, I went to the gym, I cycled, I had to make AWS content for class, I had to walk my dogs, I had to cook twice today in order to make my food. It's like you're telling me that I should go out to the middle of Austin right now and go to a bar and go have a great time. I'm like, I'll be looking at you like, what are you talking about? I don't have time for that. After this podcast, I got to go back to work. I don't have time. I'm not going to be doing that. At the bare minimum, I got to complete my Portuguese lesson. I had Portuguese lesson today. I need to study more for my Portuguese lesson. I don't have time for it. That's how Japanese men are. They don't have time. They just don't. So yeah, that's why I just, again, you got to think of it from the Japanese point of view. The Western point of view is a little sketchy.
Yeah, I've noticed how the West seems to just, you talk about Japanese women are going through this, Japanese women are going through that. Actually, I was there in Japan this year, and they're very comfortable. Like, it's a very safe country. They've got money.
Yes.
Like, a lot of them have money. They save. Things are pretty cheap there, even though they get lower salary. So they're not going through anything that's pretty hard pressing in Japan. It's very, very safe for them and very, very convenient. So what are they talking about?
Yes. We always said in Japan that Japanese women are the richest demographic of the G7. They're just straight out. And if you're going out with a Japanese woman, you have to understand that you're going out with someone who's going to be by far richer than any Western woman you would have met. She has more time and more disposable income, and she's in a better situation. So if she's going out with you, it's because she really wants to go out with you. That's it. It's not because she has any financial liabilities or problems. Not at all. She's doing extremely well. Western women would be 2 or 3 notches level up to be on Japanese women's level, just straight out. And they're not taking any like antidepressants or anything like that. They're eating good sushi and good wasabi every day. They're having a good time. So again, it's the men. The men are the issue. They're the ones who are paying the price. Giving them a 3-day weekend, hopefully will help them get a little freaky. And that's what we want.
Yeah. The men do go through it. A salary man, always hardworking, drinking and Shibuya on the floor. So I remember seeing that for the first time. I'm like, what? Why are these guys in suits sleeping on the floor, all drunked out? But that's the culture over there. And hopefully with this new initiative, this is only for government employees, but I'm sure it's going to spread to private corporations. But the private companies apparently are pushing back. The guys who run, the big private corporations and all that stuff. But we'll see how it goes with government employees, and we'll see what happens in the next few years when this change takes effect. So next year, actually, when it takes effect in Japan, and we'll see how the Japanese people feel about it. Interesting. Okay. It's a very interesting country, Japan, and what it's going through, good, bad, ugly. And we're going to obviously touch upon those particular aspects on this channel. Awesome.